Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Chargers 25, Steelers 10. Chargers move to 7-3. Steelers fall to 5-4. It was a baseball game early on.
Yeah.
3-2, 5-3, 12-3. Chargers were up 15-3 into the third quarter, and then they scored a touchdown to go up 22-3. Then it was just like insurmountable at that point.
I mean, the Steelers didn't have the offense to drive. I mean, felt like a game where both teams were going to really struggle.
The offense was bad.
In
this game
for both sides. The Chargers, I mean, that offensive line going up against Pittsburgh's defensive line looked like one of the biggest mismatches on paper of any game this season heading into the game, and it was kind of manifesting that way. I mean, the Chargers' offensive line was getting wrecked. Herbert was under all kinds of pressure. The pass rush was getting home. But eventually they just kept making a play here or there, and that was enough because Pittsburgh was making no plays here or there.
Just the Ladd McConkey plays, really. 15-yard touchdown, 58-yarder where he tried to run away from Jalen Ramsey. Couldn't really do it. But those were the plays. I think I was describing that in the preview because Herbert got sacked 5 times again. But the difference for the Chargers, I think this year versus last year, is they have Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston, and they have Aronde Gadsden. He dropped a couple passes in this one that could have been big plays. They at least have the playmakers where Herbert can get the ball out even under pressure and create some plays. And it was McConkey in this game that flipped the field at least once, but had the 15-yard touchdown as well.
You remember a couple of weeks ago, Chris Long had his thing about PFF grades just shouldn't be on the TV before games because no one wants to see, this guy is ranked like blah, blah.
Yeah.
Chargers offensive line, the ranks when they put them up on the TV. Bozeman, 36 out of 36 at center. Trey Pipkins, 35 of 36 at right tackle. Mekhi Becton, 36 of 37 at right guard. And Austin Decula's 38 of 38 at left tackle. So 4 of the 5 starters rank either worst or second worst in the NFL at their positions.
And Herbert did get banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
Ankle rolled up on. It's like,
I'm amazed. That looked nasty when that happened. They just strapped him up and he went back out.
Got to be careful, man. They're 7-3, second place in the division, and defense is tough, dude. They play hard, and I think Rodgers played horribly. Starting with that sack, kind of a clean pocket, and then he ran into pressure. And then dropped the ball in the end zone for a sack, for a safety.
Well, that was one. It's like we were saying this before we went live. Like Rodgers, half of his job at this point is resetting the leverage of his offensive linemen. And actually, he's been kind of feeling that the last few weeks. He's been looking more like old Aaron Rodgers, where he's able to just take a skip in one direction, reset the leverage of usually Broderick Jones, and then carry on as if nothing's, there's no big deal. That felt like one where he was like, feeling it too much. It's like, oh, it's Khalil Mack free. I'm just going to take a skip back, avoid him, and we're all good. Only you skipped a little bit too much. It's Khalil Mack, not just some chump, and you lost the ball on the way by clanging it off the hip of your own lineman.
Yeah. That was an ugly play.
But it's like there's sometimes where you can get away with that. Bouncing back into your own end zone when it's Khalil Mack chasing you down is probably not the time to do that.
This one felt like the way a 40-year-old normally ages. We say this a lot, Sam, but I think we have it in our head, like the Peyton Manning year, where like the arm is just completely gone.
Right.
But he had some injury issues and everything. He was 39, and he had some injuries. But like I think we assume that the 40-year-old's gonna age by just throwing ducks, and it's not necessarily the case. I feel like this Rodgers game was the 40-year-old regression game. We saw it a little bit with Breeze. I think you lose a little bit of the internal clock. I think you just lose some of the internal clock. And then even like Brady's last year, he just had some plays where he was just like, I don't want to get hit. I don't want to take the sacks. I'm just going to throw it. Rodgers had that one wide open in the flat where he threw it, did like a little spinneroonie to like protect himself from the hit, and he overthrew. I think that's how I think that's where the 40-year-old stuff shows up. It's not going to show up and, he's only throwing 80 miles an hour now instead of 90, in baseball terms. It's not the velocity. It's the feel. It's like, I'm going to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker than I should under pressure. A couple overthrows here and there. He had DK open a couple times down the field, and he missed them. He's just off accuracy-wise. And so it was an ugly one, I think, for Rodgers, and it's against a good Chargers pass defense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the Chargers defense looked really good. There were plays to be made. I mean, this is the thing. Rodgers definitely didn't play well, but there were multiple plays where they had chances. Like he missed DK Metcalf on a touchdown early in the game. This is one where it's interesting. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He had a lot of just misses. It was just misses accuracy-wise. I think that's the aging process for Rodgers. He's going to miss a few more. It's not like
he missed a lot
physical talent
in this game. Like just usually high for some reason in this game. It was like he was calibrated to Cam Newton levels. But he missed DK Metcalf on this play. It was a fascinating play overall because it was sort of
like a cartoon cat.
It was right on the fringes of field goal range. Like Chris Boswell makes a 59-yard field goal in the next play. So from that line of scrimmage, it's a 59er. But if he takes a sack, it's probably out of field goal range. Or he hits a touchdown, it's obviously – so he makes this play where Jones gives up immediate inside pressure. Rodgers skips to his left, gets out of that. So avoids a sack. That's a 3-point positive play for Rodgers because if he takes the sack, you're not getting the field goal. So net +3 for Rodgers. And then on the scramble, DK Metcalf's one-on-one and open over the top, and he misses him. I was like, well, that's a 4-point negative. Like, so you're still up one, I guess, but you should have had a touchdown on the board. And that was kind of Joey Porter Jr. drops an interception on one of those plays where Herbert just didn't see him. It was a little kind of inside whip route, and he never saw the guy from the outside coming back towards the play. You make that play. Like, every time there was a play to be made, Pittsburgh didn't quite make it.
Yeah, it was ugly offense in this game. And again, I don't think Pittsburgh's offense has been good this year. Outside of in the red zone, they throw to the big guys well. And Jaylen Warren's made some spectacular plays. Even in this one, had a couple nice runs in there. He's made a few spectacular plays, but it's very inconsistent. And then Rodgers hits our guy Calvin Austin right in the hands. He drops it. It gets picked off. And Chris on the broadcast is making the point, this is why they're running so much Darnell Washington and extra tight ends and extra offensive linemen. They don't trust their receivers. They don't trust Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. They don't trust everybody beyond DK Metcalf. They were in on Jacoby Myers and they were in on receiver discussions, but they didn't get a deal done. And now they're sitting there with, big time questions at wide receiver 2 and 3 beyond DK Metcalf, and at 5 and 4 with the Ravens, coming up and on their way in the AFC North.
And Austin's made some big plays for them, and he's got talent, but man, you've got to catch that one.
Yes. So I see the Steelers beat and everybody, confused by this team, and it's like it just feels like a Mike Tomlin team with a 40-year-old quarterback. That's what it is.
Yeah.
A future Hall of Fame 40-year-old quarterback, but he's still in his 40s, not playing the best football of his career. I don't think he's playing that great. The offense looked good against Cincinnati and in the red zone this year.
Yeah.
That's it. And they've had a bunch of short – if they don't have the multiple – think about how many games the Steelers had multiple turnovers against New England, against Indianapolis, had some short fields even against Seattle. Tons of short fields. That's how they've put points on the board. They haven't been a drive-sustaining offense. Like, they've got some issues if their defense is not playing at a high level.
Well, I think at least you're seeing the defense – take steps forward and look more like the unit we thought it might do at the start of the season. It's not going to be, I don't think, completely dominant at any point, but it is at least looking like a good defense now. That's helping, but you're looking at the offense and you're like, the offense is not good enough, right? Like, they don't have a secondary receiving threat. They've got at least one significant problem on the offensive line that's a consistent issue week to week. Rodgers is not playing particularly well, even if he can do a lot, and there's veteran savvy that he brings to the table, and he's able to fix some problems. Like, there's multiple problems on offense that probably hold them back from being like a truly elite team.
And I would just say from a Chargers perspective, we know the defense is good. They're interesting because they make like 90% of throws I feel like are really tough, and then there's like a couple per game, and Rodgers missed them. There's a couple per game that they allow. No defense is perfect, but they're mostly a very good pass coverage unit who makes it difficult to just move the ball, right? And then offensively, I just worry about Herbert getting sacked 5 times this game, 5 times last week against Tennessee. The offensive line is going to be a concern with all the injuries and just who they have there. Marion Hampton coming back soon.
Yeah.
Should help. I love the way Vidal's been running. He had 25 carries yesterday, a couple nice ones in there, and a touchdown. So I think they can lean on the run in certain games, and I like their playmakers. Quentin Johnston kind of reverting back to, some drops and not catching some contested catches that he should, but he's at least creating. He's a better weapon than I think he's been in previous years, Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
And McConkey. Keenan Allen got the Chargers record on the tap pass, which was nice. So they at least have the playmakers to offset the line a little bit, but you can't do that every play. They're not going to get open every single play, and Herbert's going to need to just be better protected and can't get tackled and sacked 5 or 6 times every single week.
Yeah, I feel bad for them because that offensive line is just it's so rough, and there's no, I think, obvious fix on the horizon. Like, you need Joe Alt to be healthy. And now you're like, Justin Herbert's playing fantastic football. The defense is very good. They've got enough weapons for it to work when you get Hampton back and when the receiving core is healthy. But the offensive line is such a problem that I don't know if you're going to be able to overcome that. Certainly not when you face like the best teams or if they make it to the playoffs and beyond. It's just the Achilles heel of this team right now.
But they're sitting here at 7-3. And so, the look ahead for the Chargers, so everybody's Chiefs game. They go to Jacksonville. It would have been, a 6-win Jacksonville team against a 7-win Chargers team if the Jags didn't blow it. So they're coming off that demoralizing loss. The Jags, they only have 5 wins, but playoff implications there. Then a bye, Raiders, and then Eagles Chiefs back to back to start December for the Chargers. Eagles game should be great, and then going to Kansas City to see if you can get the sweep against the Chiefs. So the Chargers, they're in position, man. They've got some big games in the second half of the year. I do worry about the offensive line, especially when they face Kansas City, when they face Houston, when they face Denver again. See if they could survive. But Herbert's, got the arm to be able to do it. They got the playmakers to be able to do it, and they got the defense. And then just kind of see what that balance is with the Vidal, Hampton running attack.
Yeah, I would assume
back. Hampton's big playability, though, I think can add something.
Yeah, I would assume Vidal very much takes a back seat as soon as Hampton's back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Like, he'll get some plays, but it's going to be Hampton the gig. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.